in front of me is an ATX motherboard. And again, although ports on the outside of an ATX motherboard are standardized, let's take a close-up of those now. You can see here we have quite a few different ports here. We've already gone through this one. This little guy right here, the parallel port. Underneath it would be the two serial ports that we have here, COM1 and COM2. Over on this side, we got a green and we got a purple. This is where you hook the keyboard and the mouse. Now, you got to be really careful about which mouse you hook into and which keyboard you hook into. What I'm trying to tell you is the mouse can be hooked into the keyboard port and the keyboard can be hooked into the mouse port. If that happens, yeah, you might run into some trouble right there. The green is for the mouse, the purple is for the keyboard. Now, taking a look all the way on the other end here, down here you have the standard USB ports. A lot of motherboards now have USB 2 ports as well. Up here we have what's called an RJ45. That's for built-in networking. Now an RJ45 looks simply like this. This little guy plugs right into there. Looks like, oh, a big telephone cable, and it is an 8-pin called an RJ45. Very common with networks. Now, taking a look a little bit more over, this is for the sound card. This particular one has a built-in sound card. One of these is for the speaker, the other one is for a line in, and then the other one is for a microphone in case you want to do some Mr. Microphone work. Now, taking a look over here, this is for a little more advanced audio. And then this little guy right here, let me unplug that. I know that's a little bit difficult to see there, but this one is for the digital audio standard. We got Dolby 5.1, we got Dolby 6.1. We have terrific sound and audio coming out of a computer these days. Those are the standard ports for an ATX motherboard. Now, let me show you some other ports that you might see coming out of the back of a computer. And for that, we have to take a look at some different devices. Those different devices might be an external sound card. And a lot of the sound cards had what's called a MIDI adapter or a joystick adapter on them. Now this MIDI adapter, musical instrument digital interface. Here it is right here if you want to take a close look at this. It is known as a DB15. In other words, D, you know what that means, B, we don't know what that means. And then the 15 meaning you have 15 different pins on this. What this is used for, if you've ever gone into, say, a Walmart or Kmart or some music store, you have those keyboards. And those keyboards are set up to interface into your computer. How do you do that? What do you plug it into? The MIDI port. And also, if you're a gamer out there, if you like, oh, I don't know, going back to World War II and flying an airplane, you need a joystick. And this used to be the port you hook the joystick into. Nowadays, joysticks use USB or USB 2. So that is a look at a MIDI port. And you can recognize that. It's just a simple DB15. Now, here's another interface you might see. And this interface is called a DVI. This is a pretty modern video card right here. And now we have what? Flat screen monitors. We have a lot of different things like that. We have the LCD, we have plasma, we have all kinds of different interfaces or different monitors that we can use that are all digital. They're not analog. And if you look at this, this is it. This is what you plug one of those modern monitors into. It's called the DVI port. And this is going to look a little bit different, of course, than a regular port that comes out of a video card. It's called the DVI port right there. So that is a good look at some of the different ports we have inside of our computer, or rather outside of our computer. And again, a port is used just like you would think of a port in a country or something like that. That is where zeros and ones come in and zeros and ones go out. So that's a good look at ports, different cables, and the nomenclature or naming schemes that we use as a basis so we can go further in our A+ class. And that concludes Module 2.